I'm Sashi Narhari, founder and CEO of HighRadius. SSOW told us, can I do anything? And they're like, yeah, you can do anything. So I wanted to go back to our college days. So I decided to invite a beer manufacturer and a tobacco manufacturer. All right. We'll turn it over to Ulla and Reto to introduce themselves.
I'm Ulla. I'm Belgian. I'm responsible for GBS at BAT. I'm at BAT for almost 3 years. Just to give you an idea of GBS at BAT, we're about 2,500 people. So we are servicing finance, HR, procurement, and marketing capabilities as well.
Reto Sahli, I'm the Chief Digital and Information Officer at Asahi Europe and International. So Asahi Europe and International is basically the legal entity which is everything except Japan and Oceania. Yes, we are a beer company based in Prague. I'm leading the overall digital transformation journey for Asahi Europe and International.
So we're going to get started here. The first question is for Reto. Reto, you're a CIO. A lot of business leaders refer to the IT teams as the office of the know. They want to drive transformation, they're in urgency, they have outcomes they need to get to, and then you would be like, I don't have time, or you should keep it to the ERP functionality. Is that perception true?
No, I think that perception is not true, or not true anymore. I spent a lot of time implementing ERP systems, global ERP instances, which has been very, very heavy and taken, a little eternity. But if you look at my example, so I'm spending 30% of my time really managing the CIO business and 70% really managing the CDO business, so leading the way into the digital age for the company. Why are we doing this, and why do I believe that CIO, CDO is the logical complement? Is because the capabilities are really in IT and one cannot go without the other.
All right, the next question is for Ulla. Ulla, you're a GBS leader. There is a perception that the business teams are the office of the fairy tale. They desire the latest and greatest technology, UI looks great, sexy stuff, and then you go to the CIO's office and expect a sign-off. Is that perception true?
No, that's totally not true. So in our case, we have very strict business case approach. So whatever new technology we launch, old or new, it's always based on a business case. And I would say that about 70% of technology that we implement, it's really about sweating the assets. And then the other 30%, it's much more around new technology, robotics, anything that can help simplifying as well the processes that you will not find in those typically big ERP or company solutions. I do believe it is important for a GBS or a business environment that we can make very clear what are those functionalities that the business needs. And then I'm fine for the guys from Mars to select the partners and to select the technologies itself, as long as they cover for the needs that we have in our shared services or with the business.
So maybe a question for you, Reto. Do you think GBS should have more control? Maybe have an IT department within GBS so they have full control to drive selection and transformation?
You see, at the end of the day, it's a matter of collaboration. I think the subject matter expertise for digitizing a company and for running IT is with IT and not with GBS. So I think for me, the race is very, very clear. I think we have gone a little too far in some cases with GBS, right? So all of a sudden, we wanted to build an organism or on its own. And GBS was owning everything. If I reflect on why I would build GBS as a business person, this is number one, to give the organization a clear strategic focus on what really, truly matters, and it's not the back office. And number two, it is my synergy engine, right? I want to get cost out of GBS. And I think that's where we should kind of calibrate back with GBS and IT.
I guess, Ulla, your thoughts. Do you think GBS should just be a back office optimization, or do you think the role has evolved already, or it should evolve?
No, I think the role has evolved big time and will evolve more. So if you look to, the typical transactional activities in the past, which I call commodity shared service, right? Typical transactional finance, transactional HR, transactional procurement. This is old school thinking. In BAT, we have a clear mandate where we are activating marketing capabilities, and that goes from, still shared service type of work, such as call centers and consumer care, but it also talks about revenue growth management. It talks about content management. It talks about social listening. So there is big opportunities for shared services to help not only on the cost lines, but as well help on the top line.
I'm curious, Reto, if there is one ask from GBS leaders, many of them are in shared services in GBS, what would that be from an IT function?
I think we have to stop creating silos and spending a lot of time defining our remits and defining our RACI. I think we should spend more time on defining how we are collaborating, where we are leveraging the skills and the experience, wherever it sits. It's completely irrelevant. What is relevant that we as GBS, IT, IS, digital, whatever you want to call it, are successful as one company.
I agree.
Finally.
Yes, I do believe it's like 1 + 1 is 3. And it's about, building real end-to-end solutions for our businesses, right, to become better. So it should be data, technology, process, and organization. And I can only invite the Martians, is that correct English?
Martians, yeah.
To come to Venus and get into the playground and use those young talents, those young dynamic people to help pilot, trial, whatever is needed in order for us to get the best, proof of concepts and pilots up and running.
Invitation accepted.
All right, so now we're going to kick off with a couple of common questions that we have heard from the audience, and then we'll integrate you into the questions. Maybe we can start with you, Ulla. What is your biggest irritation with vendors at large? Be bold and blunt.
It all comes back to people. And what you typically see is, of course, and it's a normal trend, when you negotiate with a vendor or a partner, the sky is the limit and the world is being promised. And then when you get into implementation, if you reach 80% of that promise, it's a success. But it all comes back to the people, right? So typically in a sales team, you get the best salesman in front of you. You don't necessarily get that quality of people. And when that gap between expectations is not managed properly, I think that's my biggest frustration.
I don't want to have vendors or suppliers doing business with us. I want to have ecosystem partners. I want to have partners that are sharing the same beliefs, that are sharing the successes, and are sharing the failures with us. And that's my biggest obstacle that I have.
So the last question is, I think there is a lot of debate around the effectiveness of RPA technology. Maybe we can start with you, Reto. What are your thoughts on RPA as a technology?
So I think RPA standalone, the RPA is becoming irrelevant. I do believe in hyper-automation, in automating experience journeys, even crossing through process silos. And that requires just different technologies, ranging from chatbots to machine learning to RPA as well, but end-to-end hyper-automation for automating experience journeys.
Okay. Ulla?
Yeah, I think it has been the buzzword for the last few years, right? But I think if we're all honest, we've all been learning. It's a journey, and every year we get to a different level of learnings. And I think it's exactly, what Reto has been saying. It's about making sure that you put the right solution on the right place in your process.
That was the GBS Masterminds podcast. For more information, visit gbsmasterminds.com and make sure to search for GBS Masterminds in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else podcasts are found.